The wrong table. Hook. The night the gun went off inside Ridgeway Bistro, every fork froze mid-air, every breath halted, and every eye turned toward one man, Aaron Miller, a single dad with a trembling hand, a blood-stained shirt, and a secret he never intended to keep. What nobody knew, not yet, was that minutes earlier, Aaron had been sitting at the wrong table on a blind date. A mistake that would unravel the truth behind the CEO's paralyzed daughter. A mistake that would force him to choose between saving a stranger and losing everything he loved. But before I tell you how a quiet, broken-hearted father became the center of a moment that would shake the entire town. Like this video and subscribe to the Kindness Chronicles to help more life-changing stories reach the world. Now let's rewind. Aaron Miller had not been on a date in 9 years. Not since the car accident that took his wife's life and left him raising their son, Caleb, alone. He used to wear his loneliness like a comfortable coat, heavy, familiar. But lately, even Caleb had noticed. "Dad," Caleb had said that morning, pushing his cereal around the bowl, "you should meet new people. Mom wouldn't want you to be alone forever." That was the only reason Aaron agreed to a blind date arranged by his sister, Jenna. He didn't want romance. He wanted to prove to his son that he wasn't a ghost walking around in living skin. The restaurant buzzed with warm laughter. Soft amber lights glowed over mahogany tables. It felt too fancy for him, a construction worker with calloused hands and a faded flannel shirt. But Jenna insisted. "She'll be sitting at table 14, she told him. "Pretty, sweet, very reserved. Be kind. She's been through a lot." Aaron walked in, scanning the numbers. Table 14. Candlelight. A woman alone. She wore a navy blouse, crisp and elegant. Her hair curled gently at her shoulders. A wheelchair tucked almost invisibly beneath the table. Her fingers fidgeted with the rim of her glass, nervous. "You must be Emily," he said softly. Her eyes lifted. Blue, piercing, cautious, with a flicker of hope. "I am," she whispered. "And you're Aaron?" He nodded and sat across from her, trying not to stare at the wheelchair she clearly wished he wouldn't notice. The first 10 minutes were awkward. She barely spoke, often staring at her hands, breath uneven. But Aaron didn't push. He asked gentle questions, and slowly she began to open. She loved painting. She missed running. She used to volunteer at a children's hospital. She'd lived through something terrible 2 years earlier but didn't want to talk about it. Her hands trembled the entire time. Aaron assumed she was nervous about meeting a stranger. He didn't know she had every reason to be afraid. "Your sister didn't tell me much," Emily said softly. "Only that you're a single father." "Yeah," he exhaled. "It's been just me and my boy since, well, a long time." She nodded, empathy blooming in her eyes. Her walls lowered. For the first time in years, Aaron felt seen. They laughed. They shared small tragedies. For a moment, it felt like the world outside didn't exist. But then, "Aaron?" A sharp voice behind him. He turned. Jenna, his sister, stood at table 14, the real table 14, where a completely different woman was waiting. "Aaron, what are you doing?" Jenna asked, confused. He froze. If that was table 14, then who was the woman across from him? Emily's expression collapsed, eyes wide with shame, panic, and something deeper, desperation. I'm sorry," she whispered. I thought you were someone else. I shouldn't have." Aaron stood, stunned. Hurt flickered through him, but stronger was the fear he saw in her trembling hands. "Wait," he said, lowering his voice. "You're not my date." "So whose table is this?" Emily swallowed hard. I don't have a date," she murmured. "I don't go on dates." I just sit and hope one day someone mistakes me for the person they're waiting for. The words hit like a punch. Aaron's chest tightened. This wasn't a woman playing games. This was someone trying to feel wanted again. Emily, he said gently, why would you? But she flinched and shook her head. You should go. Please. I don't want to cause trouble. Before he could answer, a young waiter rushed over. Miss Hargrove, he said nervously, your father's security team is asking where you are. They said it's urgent. Hargrove. The name hit Aaron instantly. Charles Hargrove. The ruthless billionaire CEO of Hargrove Industries. Everyone in Ridgeway knew him. Everyone feared him. Everyone whispered about his daughter, the one who disappeared from the public eye after a hit-and-run left her paralyzed. Emily. Before Aaron could gather his thoughts, Emily pushed her wheelchair back, nearly colliding with another table. Her panic was spiraling. I have to go, she whispered, wheeling away so fast she almost tipped over. Aaron watched her rush toward the exit, heart twisting. Something wasn't right. Then he saw them. Two massive men in dark suits brushing past diners, eyes locked on Emily. Security. But their faces weren't concerned. They were angry. Emily glanced back and saw them. That's when she whispered, so quietly Aaron barely heard it. Please, don't let them take me. And then she turned and hurried toward the back hallway of the restaurant. Aaron didn't think. He just moved. Sir, one guard barked as he stepped into their path, this does not concern you. Looks like she's in trouble, Aaron said calmly. Maybe back off a little. The taller guard leaned forward. Move. Aaron didn't. And that's when he realized something chilling. These men weren't here to protect her. They were here to retrieve her. Emily disappeared down the hallway. One guard shoved Aaron aside and followed. That shove lit something inside him, an instinct sharpened by years of protecting his son. He bolted after them. The hallway led to the service exit behind the kitchen. Emily struggled with the heavy door, hands shaking violently. I can help, Aaron said, reaching for the handle. But the guard grabbed his shoulder and slammed him into the wall. Emily gasped. Stop. Don't hurt him. But before the guard could restrain her, she raised her purse and tried to hit him. It barely fazed him. He yanked the wheelchair backward so hard she cried out. Enough, the guard barked. Your father wants you home. Now. No. Emily screamed. I told him I don't want. Aaron didn't hear the rest. He stepped forward and planted his fist directly into the guard's jaw. The man stumbled back. Emily's wheelchair jerked forward. The second guard lunged. Aaron braced. But a deafening bang exploded through the hallway. Not a gunshot. A firecracker. A teenage busboy, standing near the back door with a smoking catering tray, stared in horror at the accidental spark that had ignited the prop for the restaurant's upcoming fireworks demonstration. The explosion was small but bright, blinding the guards long enough for Aaron to shove Emily's wheelchair through the already ajar door. Outside, night air rushed over them. Come on, he said, pushing her down the alleyway. What are you doing? She cried, voice cracking. Trying to keep you safe. She sobbed but didn't tell him to stop. Footsteps thundered behind them. Emily pointed frantically. Left. Over there. They turned into a narrow alley between two brick buildings. The darkness swallowed them. Emily clutched Aaron's arm, breathing hard, terrified. They'll find us, she whispered. They always do. Why are they after you? Aaron asked, voice low. Tears streamed down her face. Because I know the truth, she said. About what really happened the night I was paralyzed. Aaron swallowed hard. What truth?